Okay, everybody, welcome back, and it's time to do some ribs in the Instapot. So here's my Instapot. This is kind of hard because of being my own cameraman to try to show you everything, but we're going to give it our best shot. So I'm going to take you and show you the Instapot. Ta-da! Instapot! There it is, right? And I believe it is an 8-quart Instapot. And so you see inside the rack that we have in here. So we're going to actually wrap our ribs down in and around that. So let's put you back up here. Hopefully I'm not messing around with you too much. Here are our ribs. Remember, we seasoned them earlier, and all we are going to do is, let's see how much of this I can see, if I can get you in a place where you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to take these ribs, and like I said, if you remember, we seasoned them before, and we're just going to sit them down in here, kind of in a circle. So they're going to stand up that way, and they're going to stand up this way. I'm going to just wrap them around. Of course, nice little mess that I made here. And I'm actually gonna, because I got the seasonings kind of in this outside thing, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna wipe that up, because you wanna make sure you get a good and tight seal. So that is about as hard as that gets. To that, I am actually gonna just, like I said, I'm gonna go in here and make sure that I get this out of here. And nothing is hot here yet, because obviously I don't have anything going. So, but you want to make sure you get a really good and tight seal, so you don't want any food or anything in there. So there we go. Get it all. Okay, good. So I'm gonna put my pot back in here, and see, my ribs are just wrapped around like that. And to that, I'm going to add, with my liquid measuring cup, I have apple cider vinegar with the mother. Doesn't have to be that, but any kind of vinegar will do. This is what I want to put in here, though. And I'm going to put 1 cup of it down in the bottom. Here we go. So, let's see if I can pull this up a little bit. 1 cup right down in the bottom. The other thing that I'm going to do is I have peeled 2 onions, and I leave the root in. You know I do that so that they hold together. And I'm going to stick those right down in there. And that is as hard as that gets. So I'm going to bring you back to this side. So hold on 1 second. Okay, so I have the ribs in here, and this is the lid. I wanted to show you just a couple of things. This red thing, and I don't know if I want to see, you can see that it comes up. I got my finger underneath here, and I'm pushing it up. And what happens is that once you put this on here and twist it, so you're going to lock it on top, the pressure is going to build up, and as the pressure builds up, this thing will come up to the top. And it'll be up here, it'll stay up until for the 45 minutes that we're going to cook these for, and then it will turn off, and slowly it will come back down as the pressure releases. If I do a natural release, if I want to do a quick release, this is a vent, and this will let me release the steam quickly. We'll get into that as we get into the finished part of this. And the other thing I want to show you is, if you'll notice, I have this here in this part of my kitchen. I'm going to just go ahead and put this lid back on here. Did you hear that? It was singing to me as it locked into place. And it's on this part of my kitchen because if you look, see my cabinets behind me over here, and it's the same way down this other side. I don't want this under any of my cabinets, because when the steam does release, I don't want it to release under my cabinets and make them kind of steamy mess. So that's why I have it here, so I have nothing above it. So Every Instapot you buy will come with an instruction manual. I will tell you that. So you don't have to remember what I'm telling you, but if you remember anything, remember, don't be afraid of it, because yes, it's a pressure cooker, but it's just such a great tool. So what we're going to do for the ribs that are in here is we're going to hit the meat. There are different little buttons down here, and this one says meat stew, and it automatically comes up at 45 minutes, and now it's on. And that's about as complicated as that gets. Now the reason that there is a plus and a minus. So if I wanted to go longer, because I'm going to cook these about 15 minutes a pound, because they are back ribs, and there's probably about 4.5 to 5 pounds in there. So, or maybe 3 to 4. Anyway, if I wanted to do it longer, I would hit this plus thing, to give it more time, to make it cook longer. So at this point in time, it's on and it's ready to go. And it's going to take a while for this to come up to pressure, because it's got so much in it, and it's cold in there because, well, I did let the ribs sit out, but still they're cold. So it can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes for it to come up to pressure. When that happens and this thing pops up, I will come back and show you that it's popped, so you can kind of see it as it progresses. That's about all I can tell you for right now. So we're gonna just but all we did was put them in there, curled them around, and turned it on. That's pretty much all we did. Locked it in place and turned it on. So now we're waiting for it to come up to steam. The little thing will pop up, and then it will do its cooking deal. And then once it's done, we're gonna let it cool down by itself for 15 minutes. So it should be about an hour deal for the most tender, wonderful ribs ever. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I did want to show you that it took probably about 10 minutes for it to come up to steam. And if you will see, this little float button here is popped up. So that's fully up to steam. This is in the back position, which is the sealing position. So that means it's reached its pressure. Now, if for some reason steam is coming out of there, just take, I took this actually, and just kind of poke it a little bit, because sometimes it just gets a little stuck, but it shouldn't if it's nice and clean. And anyway, so we are at 36 minutes, and so we'll be back. Okay, so the timer went off, and so I want you to see what it says. It says low, and there's a 1. Well, and so I'm gonna let it stay and on low for 15 minutes. And what it's doing is it is doing a slow release of the steam inside. So I'm gonna let it go for 15 minutes because that adds a little bit more tenderness. And after 15 minutes, if it has not, if my little float, which actually, let me show you that. See, the float is still up in the back. See, it's still popped up here. And when the steam is released, that float will go down. So, I'm gonna let it sit by itself for about 15 minutes, and then I will, if it still hasn't sunk down, then we'll do a quick release, and I'll show you that. So we'll be back in a few. Okay, I actually kind of forgot where I was in the process. So it has been 22 minutes. So, and the little float is still up. So that means it's still got steam in there, which means the top won't come off, but don't try it. So what I'm gonna do is this little float valve, which is normally at the back, because you're sealing in the steam, I'm gonna take something with a handle on it and move it forward. And I'm going to take you over here. Sorry. So I can get a better grip on it. Sorry. Hope I'm not making you sick. And I'm going to release it. And you can see the steam coming out. and that will happen for just a few. And this float right here, can you see my finger? Yep, that float right there, that will go down. And as soon as that float goes down, I can take the lids off. And as you can see, it's dying out. You can hear it. So rather than to make you stand here and watch this, I'll be back. Okay, can you see the float? The float has gone down. There's no more steam coming up. So that means it's time to open it. So let me put this over here and open it. And there you have it. Oh my gosh, they smell wonderful. I gotta tell you that. So what I'm gonna do, see? That's them. They don't look real pretty just yet, but I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, well, I'm hesitating to whether or not to post this, but they are delicious. They just went a tad too long. And it was because I really needed to do them 35 minutes and then let them do a slow release for 15. And I did them 45 and it was a slow release for 22. So I just overdid them. But in the case of ribs, especially back ribs, too tender, you can't get them too tender. So, this is what I want to show you. This is my mom's homemade barbecue sauce. That I'm going to post a recipe for it, that I'm putting on here, and I'm brushing every rib with it, and then I'm going to put this in the broiler and let it get nice and crispy. But what I want you to know here is that there's not a bone in here. There's not a bone in here. There we go. All of the bones are in there. I mean, it just truly fell right off the bone. But like I said, in this case, with these ribs, it's awesome. But it couldn't be any easier. So I'm going to put these in the broiler for about 5 minutes, and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, and we're done. And look at those. Look how pretty those are. I'm telling you, those are going to be some good ribs. And then over here are the potato pancakes that we made. Nice and crisp with just a little sour cream. So I hope you try it. I'll put the recipe for the rub as well as my mom's barbecue sauce in the comment section. Please like and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and like and share my video. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Good night.